Now, we're not going to keep redoing this. We're not going to keep doing that today. We're going to do one and done and get through it, and whatever will be, will be. We ain't going to keep stopping and starting. That's what we're not going to do. Welcome back to Perfect Imperfections with Kalia Bell. I am your host, Kalia Bell. Here on this channel, I share with you the tips, tools, and mindset that I'm using in helping me heal with depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. And I share with you hoping that these same tips, tools, and mindset can help you get out of that dark space, because listen, I've been there, I've done that, and I want to help. I want to help. And I think that by sharing my story and sharing my experiences and sharing what's working for me can help you. So I'm so glad that you are here. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Let me know what you think. If you have some tips, tools, share with me as I'm sharing with you. Engage, ask any questions, any information. I'm here for you. Okay, so I'm excited. It has been a while since I've recorded. I have not been consistent, but I'm working on that. And today, actually, this episode, I am sharing with you someone else's testimony. So I am in an entrepreneur community. Let me back up for a second. If you do not know about the Social Proof podcast, I'm telling you, you have to go check it out. Social Proof podcast is a podcast that's hosted by David Shands and Donnie Wiggins. And they are two entrepreneurs that one is a podcaster, considers himself the podcast guru. Donnie Wiggins, she is your favorite business coach. And together they share with you information on how to kind of get out your way and get unstuck and help you not only get to the bag, but get to the bag and keep the bag. And when I say that this community is absolutely amazing, it has literally changed my life. It has just opened up my world to I can't even really put it into words. But if you do not know about the Social Proof podcast, you have to check it out. If you don't follow David Shands on Donnie Wiggins already, I'm telling you, no matter your age, no matter where you are in life, no matter how far you have to go, no matter how close you are, I am telling you, you need to check them out. Amazing, life changer. And this is what kind of prompted this episode today. Basically, I just want to give someone hope. No matter what you see or what's going on in your life, I'm telling you, there is nothing too impossible for God. So I'm sharing with you Donnie's testimony, and I'm gonna include it from her words in this video so that you can check it out. But Donnie Wiggins, again, as I stated, is your favorite business coach. Amazing woman. She tells her story on how prior to the recession, she was making it. She was rich. Nice word. She had it. She had no worries. You know, she had all the nice cars, the house, the bags, the shoes. She had it all. And she was just living her life, just going and flowing and splurging, thinking that, nothing was going to happen. And then the recession hit. And Donnie, being the resilient and strong woman that she is, she was like, this is not going to last long. She's thinking that, over time, she'll be right back on her feet and everything. And then she lost her job. Then she also tells the story on how it got so bad for her that she would go into her gym. She had a free gym membership and fill her water bottle with water just to flush her toilet. And this is, again, coming from someone that is driving up in a fancy car and just basically telling how bad things got for her. Then she also tells the story on how she pretty much right before she hit rock bottom, she has to sell her house. And the saddest part about that story of her losing her house is that she was the one that had to sell her house. So imagine you're in your home and the next buyers, the home that you're not even ready to give up, by the way, the next buyers come in and you have to sell that home to them. And another sad part of that story is her daughter was in the house with her. So she tells the story of not only the bottled water and having to go to the gym to fill up her gallons of water to flush the toilet, but she tells the story of her having to sell her house while her and her daughter is still in the house and basically show the house to the potential buyers. And like I said, I'm going to include that in this video so that you can hear it from her words. But when you hear her story and to see where she is today, it just goes to show that there is nothing impossible for God. Now, the old me would have looked at it like, well, she was already, established. She had already kind of went down, already lived that life. She has the talent. She's a beautiful woman, so she has the look. She is very secure in herself. So, she just has that je ne sais quoi, so to speak. So that's why it's working out for her. But this is why I'm encouraging you, if you do not know who David Shands and Donnie Wiggins is, or the Social Proof Podcast, again, no matter your age, I'm encouraging you to check them out. But it's important to get yourself around people, like-minded people, because they tell their story, and in their story, they always tell you, you have what it takes. You too can do this. Like, there was nothing different. The only difference was she looked at where she was and said, I can't stay here. I have to do something. And she pivoted and just went, and now is a multimillionaire. And now she's sharing her secrets with us. And it just starts with just a start. So I'm sharing her testimony because it's just an amazing story. But I know that it can be applied to you as well as myself. There is nothing too impossible for God. God has already given you what you need to get where you need to go. You just have to use those tools. You have it. You know you have it, but you're looking at your circumstances. Sometimes we do have to get real with ourselves. That was me. I was always, God is going to fix it. God is going to work it out. God will work it out, but God is in the background like, I'm waiting for you to move. I had to get real with my circumstances. I had to get real with myself and say, Kalia, yes, God is going to help you clean up your mess. God is going to help you get out your mess. But you have to take a look and see, how did you get in this mess? Why are you in this mess? Why do you want to stay in this mess? Looking at all of those things to help get you on the way to where you need to go. And that was the first step that I took on this healing journey. Just a big self-awareness. Like, you did this, but you don't have to stay here, and you can get out of here. So just get moving. So making these videos and posting content and recording for my podcast and things like that, that's part of the movement. Because as I stated, if you've heard any of my previous episodes or watched my first video, only video, then you will know that I've been wanting to podcast for many, many years. And that is something that obviously God has been telling me to do it, because every day that I don't do it, or when I don't do it, I feel uncomfortable. I feel that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing to get me where I'm supposed to be going. So this is my desire to be more consistent. But again, I wanted to share with you Donnie's story, because that story is just a nobody but God. A look at what God has done. And I truly, truly, truly believe, because it's in his word, if he's done it before, he will do it again. And if he's done it for me, he will do it for you. And if he's done it for Donnie, he will do it for us. We just have to be obedient of what God wants us to do. And we just have to do the work. So this is why we need to heal. Because if you are in a dark space, if you're dealing with anxiety and you're not loving yourself, you're not going to be comfortable to stand and be all that God wants you to be. So this is why it's important for us to heal, so that we can move out of our way, move out of God's way, so that God can get us to where we need to go. And I wanted to share that with you today. And I hope that helps someone out there, because again, that story touched me. As she was telling her story, I was in here boo-hoo crying, because I felt that pain of just being like, how did it get so bad? How did we get here? But I cannot stay here, and I refuse to stay here. So again, I wanted to share that with you, and know that you're not alone. Know that you are not alone. We are all on different journeys in different places in different spaces, but just look for a community that can help you get to where you want to go. And if you don't have that community, I can be that community for you, because when we heal ourselves, we heal our homes, and when we heal our homes, we heal our communities, and when we heal our communities, we heal the world. And that is what I want to do. So with that, please, again, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know. Join me on this journey. Don't let this be your last time. I hope to see you again. With that, peace.
It taught me that life isn't perfect. It was here to remind me that as soon as much is given, much will be required. And so sometimes we get these things and we get into these situations and they're providing us joy and happiness and we're getting everything that we want out of them, but we want it to require as little of us as possible. And that's just not the way it works. And the first time I had this lesson, you guys may have heard me tell this story on the Social Proof podcast, but I'm going to tell it here. The first time I had this lesson, the first thing that actually came to mind when I heard Oprah say, for every failure, I ask myself, what is this here to teach me? My mind immediately went back to like 2010. 2010, when I am attempting to recover. And no, it's not 2010 yet. It's maybe 2009. Okay. In 2008, we experienced the first recession of my adult life. I was involved in the real estate industry. I'm selling houses left and right. I'm that chick in Atlanta. I am making money faster than I can spend it. Actually, that's not true. I was spending that money pretty fast. I was spending the money pretty fast. I was spending money in places I had no business spending money. I had every designer, everything. And I treated this money kind of like being a dope boy. I grew up in an environment where my friends, male friends, were dope boys, right? And I could see them make this money, spend it. Make this money, spend it. Lose this money, make it right back. Get the check and get it right back. And so with my real estate career at that time, I was in a situation where I was selling this condo community, and I'm the only salesperson. So there's hundreds of units and I'm the only one selling these units. So I'm making money fast. I'm getting fast money. And then I would take my lunch break as soon as I get my commission check, as soon as that deposit hit, and I'm going up to Phipps Plaza and Lenox Mall, and I'm in Giuseppe and Dolce and, buying all this stuff. And then the market would crash. And the world would shut down, especially in the area of real estate. And I lost my job. I thought, because I didn't really understand what a recession was, I thought, oh, this will be over fast. I'll get the job back, or I'll get another job. I'll get a better job. I'll recover before I lose everything. But here's the lesson that would need to be taught, is that if you don't respect it, and you don't appreciate it, it will be taken away from you. See, I had no respect for money. I knew that I wanted to earn it. I knew that I wanted a lot of it, but I did not know how to multiply it. I did not know how to leverage my money to help other people be better. I didn't know how to serve through my success. It was selfish. It was me. It was about the next Gucci bag, the next Fendi bag, the next thing. But I was serving nobody. See, it's okay to have these things. I don't want to say that, because I still got plenty of it. But at that time, I wasn't serving through my success, and that's a big difference. I wasn't serving through my success. So that was the lesson that I learned. And what would happen is I wouldn't have enough money to make it 6 months. 6 months. You guys, I'm talking about, I'm making at the time more than $250,000 a year. 20-something-year-old woman, single mom, got the big house, got the nice cars. I got with the TVs in it. My daughter going to school in the back, watching her cartoons in the car. Everybody thinking, oh, they're so lucky, they're so blessed, they're so rich, is what they thought. But I was so broke because I could not survive financial trauma for 6 months before I would foreclose on my home. And let me tell you what happened. The bank, in order to help me avoid foreclosure, sent a family into our house to attempt a short sale. My daughter had this custom bedroom. It was pink and it was purple and it's painted, and she's got all the Disney princess stuff all over. It was like her own little princess palace, and she's so proud of it. Her cousins would come over and spend nights. Her friends would come over, and everybody wanted to hang out at my daughter's house, at our house, because her room was just so cool and she had everything. But there's this day comes, and there's this family who was touring our home, and the bank made me show the house. Hey, we've got, or the realtor or somebody, hey, this family is coming by. Will you be home? Yes. And I remember never before this day was I ever sad. I remember my mom even saying then at that time, with all of this that is falling apart around you, you're about to lose your house, you're losing everything. You don't know if you'll be able to keep your daughter in private school. Are you going to express any kind of emotion? And I remember saying to her, like, no, what emotion do you want me to express? Even then, I knew that feeding into my own negative emotions would never serve me. It would not get me out of where I am today. Even then, I knew it. And I wasn't afraid of anything leading up to this point, because I knew whatever I had, I'd get it back tenfold. I knew that I was learning a lesson. I knew I was paying attention to what the failure was here to teach me. But this day, the family is there, and it's the husband and wife, and they have 2 children, a girl and a boy. And my daughter and I are walking them all around the house. Oh, this is the kitchen, and the appliances are this, and here's the basement, and here's the office space, and all this stuff. Look at the beautiful backyard. But when we got upstairs to my daughter's bedroom, this family's 2 children went crazy over my daughter's bedroom. They're arguing in her face about who would get this bedroom. Oh, I want it. This is my room. I call dibs on this room. And I see my daughter, she's kind of leaning on the frame of the doorway from the outside looking into the bedroom. And she's just, like moving back and forth. And she's looking, she doesn't have any expression one way or the other on her face. But I look at her and I see these kids in her face, fighting over who's going to get her bedroom. In her face, I see them excited to take her most prized possession from her. And it was then that I felt this overwhelming sense of emotion, and I had to run off into my stairwell, and I sat in that stairwell and I'm crying. The tears are coming down faster than I can wipe them away, and I'm trying to cry quietly because there's this pride with this family that's in my house, but then there's this emotion of disappointment that I don't want my daughter to see. And suddenly my daughter, who's about 7 years old at this time, she comes into that stairwell and she walks behind me, and she puts her hand on my shoulder and she's rubbing my shoulder, and she says, "Mommy, it's okay. It's okay as long as the boy doesn't get my room." And it was in that moment that I realized that she knew exactly what was going on. It was in that moment that I decided that not only was my situation going to have to change, but I was going to have to change. I was going to have to kill off the version of me that allowed me to get into this situation. I was going to have to die to my old self in order to create this new self, because in that moment, my biggest fear became my daughter having to look beyond me for an example of what a woman is supposed to be. And let me tell you something, if you are a parent, to have your child not see you as an example of how they desire to live their life, to have your child not see you as an example of what they want their future to be, to have your child not be able to look at you and say, this is what being a woman or a man represents, is the most fearful, hurtful, and painful situations to be in. And I looked at my daughter in that stairwell that day and I said, "Mommy is going to make this up to you. I promise you. If I don't do anything else in this life, I am going to give you back everything that you lost based on my decisions times 10, times 100. I promise you, we will never, ever be in this situation again once we make it out."